Games from Folk Tales, a podcast that mixes historical research and tabletop role-playing settings. I'm your host, Timothy Ferguson. This week, some poems from Walter de la Mare. This week we have 2 locations and 3 creatures. The LibriVox recordings I'm using, sadly, are missing a couple of poems from the collection, so I'll be dropping back in for the 2nd and 4th poems. Eventually I'll start up the Queen of Night, the Witch of the Road, and the Spirit of Regret from these poems, but the backlog is edging past all common sense now. Perhaps something to do for the poster day in November.
The Sunken Garden, read for LibriVox.org by Shauna Carey. Speak not, whisper not, here bloweth thyme and bergamot. Softly on the evening hour secret herbs their spices shower. Dark-spiked rosemary and myrrh, lean-stalked purple lavender, hides within her bosom too all her sorrow's bitter rue. Breathe not, trespass not, of this green and darkling spot, latticed from the moon's beams. Perchance a distant dreamer dreams, perchance upon its darkening air the unseen ghosts of children fair, faintly swinging, sway and sweep, like lovely sea-flowers in its deep, while unmoved to watch and ward amid its gloomed and daisied sward stands with bowed and dewy head that one little leaden lad.
Beware! An ominous bird sang from its branch. Beware, O wanderer! Night mid her flowers of glamoury spilled draws swiftly near. Night with her darkened caravans piled deep with silver and myrrh draws from the portals of the east, O wanderer, near. Night, who walks plumed through the fields of stars that strangely stir, smitten to fire by the sandals of him who walks with her.
Haunted, read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. From out the wood I watched them shine, the windows of the haunted house, now ruddy as enchanted wine, now dark as flittermouse. There went a thin voice piping airs along the grey and crooked walks, a garden of thistledown and tares, bright leaves and giant stalks. The twilight rain shone at its gates, where long-leaved grass in shadow grew, and black in silence to her mates a voiceless raven flew. Lichen and moss the lone stones greened, green paths led lightly to its door. Keen from her hair the spider leaned, and dusk to darkness wore. Amidst the sedge a whisper ran, the west shut down a heavy eye, and like last tapers few and wan, the watch-stars kindled in the sky.
The pilgrim, heart sick of his journey was the wanderer, footsore and sad was he, and a witch, who long had lurked by the wayside, looked out of sorcery. Lift up your eyes, you lonely wanderer, she peeped from her casement small. Here's shelter and quiet to give you rest, young man, and apples for thirst withal. And he looked up out of his sad reverie, and saw all the woods in the green, with birds that flitted, feathered in the dappling, the jewel-bright leaves between. And he lifted up his face toward her lattice, and there, alluring wise, slanting through the silence of the long past, dwelt the still green witch's eyes. And vaguely from the hiding place of memory voices seemed to cry, "What is the darkness of one brief lifetime to the deaths thou hast made us die? Heed not the words of the enchantress, who would us still betray." And sad with the echo of their reproaches, doubting, he turned away. "I may not shelter neath your roof, lady, nor in this wood's green shadow seek repose, nor Will your apples quench the thirst a homesick wanderer knows? Homesick, forsooth, she softly mocked him, and the beauty in her face made in the sunshine pale and trembling a stillness in that place. And he sighed as if in fear, the young wanderer looking to left and to right, where the endless narrow road swept onward in the distance, lost to sight. And there fell upon his sense the briar, haunting the air with its breath, and the faint shrill sweetness of the birds' throats, their tent of leaves beneath. And there was the witch, in no wise heeding her arbour and her fruit-filled dish, her pitcher of well water and clear damask, all that the weary wish. And the last gold beam across the green world faltered and failed as he remembered his solitude and the dark nights in hospitality. His shoulders were bowed with his knapsack, his staff trailed heavy in the dust, his eyes were dazed and hopeless of the white road which tread all pilgrims must. And he looked upon the witch with eyes of sorrow in the darkening of the day, and turned him aside into oblivion, and the voices died away. And the witch stepped down from her casement. In the hush of night he heard the calling and wailing in dewy thicket of bird to hidden bird. And gloom stole all her burning crimson, remote and faint in space, as stars in gathering shadow of the evening seemed now her phantom face. And one night's rest shall be a myriad, midst dreams that come and go, till heedless fate, unmoved by weakness, bring him this same strange byway through. To the beauty of the earth that fades in ashes, the lips of welcome, and the eyes more beauteous than the feeble shine of Hesper, lone in the lightning skies. Till once again the witch's guile entreat him, but born with wisdom, he, steadfast and cold, shall choose the dark nights in hospitality.
The Ghost. Read for LibriVox.org by Greeborn. Who knocks? I, who was beautiful, beyond all dreams to restore. I, from the roots of the dark thorn, am hither, and knock on the door. Who speaks? I, once was my speech sweet as the birds on the air, when echo lurks by the waters to heed. 'Tis I speak thee fair. Dark is the hour, aye, and cold. Lone is my house, ah, but mine. Sight, touch, lips, eyes yearned in vain, long dead these to thine. Silence, still faint on the porch, break the flames of the stars. In gloom groped a hope-wearied hand over keys, bolts, and bars. A face peered, all the grey night in cares of vacancy shone. Naught but vast sorrow was there, the sweet cheat gone.